Is there anything better than homemade pizza? I don't think so. Today we make this delicious pizza with a gorgeously fluffy, deep pan base, rich tomato sauce, and of course, mountains and mountains of cheese.
Hello and welcome, my name is Charlotte, and in today's video we're going to be making homemade pizza completely from scratch, starting with some delicious pizza dough. We'll get stuck right in with the dough. So in terms of ingredients, you need 450 grams of flour. I'm using strong white bread flour, but you can also use plain flour. Just 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar, 1 packet of instant yeast, so this is about 7 grams, 320 ml of warm water. Not hot, just warm, so you can put your finger in there and it's not burning you. So to start, you're just going to add your packet of yeast into a bowl, along with your 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. Pour in your warm water and just give that a little whisk to get it all combined. You're going to leave that for just 5 minutes to let the yeast react. And when it starts to go a bit bubbly and foamy, then that's when you know that we're ready for the next step. So now our yeast has had a little head start, we can go on and add our flour. Add that one in. A teaspoon of salt. And 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You then just want to get stuck in with your hands, bringing the mixture together. We're now going to transition it onto our surface and give it a knead. So lightly flour your surface and lightly flour your hands, and then tip out your dough. It will be very wet and sticky still at this point. So you also want to flour your dough ball, and we just want to start bringing it together. Now the purpose of kneading is to get air into your mixture and also to get the gluten activated. So the best technique that I've found for kneading dough is the push and fold technique. Push and fold. And you want to get the air in the dough from all different angles. So if you're just using one hand, just push, fold, and then twist. Push, fold, and twist. Otherwise, you can do it with 2 hands and just keep pushing and folding. And you'll need to be kneading your mixture for about 10 minutes. If you have a stand mixer with a dough hook, then by all means use that. It will probably take slightly less than 10 minutes, probably about 8 minutes or so. Now it might take longer than 10 minutes or it might take less. It all depends on your dough and your surroundings. There's lots of factors that play into it. So just keep kneading until it's ready, and you can tell if it's ready by simply pushing your finger down into the dough, and if it springs back like it has done there, then it's all ready. Another way to test is to cut a small piece off of your dough and stretch it out between your fingers like this. And if you can see light through your dough without it splitting, which I can do now, then it's ready. And so once you're confident your dough is ready, pop it into an oiled bowl, just like that. Cover it tightly with some cling film, and you want to leave it to prove until it has doubled in size, which usually takes about an hour to an hour and a half. Now while your dough is rising, you can take this opportunity to make the tomato base for your pizza. Now of course, if you want to take the path of least resistance, you can just use passata or puree for your base. But I like to jazz it up a little bit because I think it is so worth it. So all you need to do is just heat a pan over a medium heat, and you're just going to take some passata, probably about 200 grams of passata there, and you're just going to heat that up and reduce it down slightly. Once your passata has warmed up and is starting to bubble, you can just add in some crushed garlic. So I've got 1 garlic clove there, a squeeze of tomato puree, a pinch of salt, a little sprinkling of oregano, and I also like to shake in a few chili flakes, but that is totally optional. Just if you like a bit of a kick, then that's a great addition. And then just give it a mix and cook it out for about 10 minutes or so, just to reduce it a little bit and get all those flavors going. So our sauce is all ready now. We've got our toppings ready and waiting to go. And our dough has doubled in size. Look at that. So sprinkle your surface with some flour, and we're just going to punch the air out of our dough. There we go. So this is knocking it back, getting all the air out. And we'll tip our dough onto our floured surface and just give it a bit of a knock back, getting that air out. So this makes enough for 2 pizzas. So I'm just going to split my dough in half and deal with one bit at a time. The best way to get your pizza shape is to get your dough into a ball and then gently just push it out. Trying to keep a nice thick crust on the outside, as that will keep it even. Now after you've started to push it out with your knuckles, then pick it up and just let the dough stretch itself out into a pizza shape. Crust on the edge, just feed it through your hands and let the dough stretch out. Now it can take some time to get your pizza out into its shape, but just be patient and then it will hopefully be quite even. You can always put your hands underneath like this and just gently stretch it out. I definitely feel like getting your dough into a nice round circle is the hardest bit of making pizza. So when it's in a circle, you can then pop it on to your pizza tray. So with the pizza on the trays, it's time for the last piece of the puzzle, and it's time to put all your toppings on. So pop a generous dollop of your tomato base onto each of your pizzas and spread that around, making sure you're going close to the edges as you can. Now I'm going to do one pizza that is just a classic margherita, and I find that grated mozzarella is best for a more simple plain pizza because you can get a really nice even coverage of the cheese. And on my other pizza I'm going to do a classic salami. So I've just got some nice lovely big bits of salami here. And for pizzas that have a bit more to them, I prefer to use a ball of mozzarella. You can have these lovely big chunks. And finally, I love to finish them off with a little sprinkle of oregano to give it that authentic Italian taste. Then pop them in your oven, preheated to about 190 degrees, and cook until they're ready, which will probably be about 20 minutes or so. The pizzas are out of the oven and they are looking absolutely incredible. Let's give them a slice. Look at all that cheese. These are going to taste incredible. A proper deep pan pizza. It's finally time for the best bit. It's taste test time. I'm going to go for a bit of the margherita initially. Give it a go. Now I admit that if you put enough cheese on anything, it's going to taste great. But I could go as far as saying that this is the best pizza I've ever had. So good. Pizza base is so light and fluffy. The tomato base is just that little bit extra, and all that cheese, oh, so good. Now, you're going to have to excuse me while I go and demolish these pizzas entirely by myself. I hope you've enjoyed today's video as much as I have. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.